Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Yay. It's the end of the week. And today I'm here for Writers Workshop. So writers, I hope all of you went like you're excited. Okay, so today, writers, we are going to talk to you about the fact that some of your writing that we're getting back, we're noticing that maybe you didn't reread it over to make sure that all of the words that you were hoping to say are on your paper. Writing complete sentences is an important part of writing, especially now that you know how to write sentences and that you've become these amazing writers, that Mrs. Torres and I get to read all this fantastic work all of the time. We want to see those wonderful thoughts that are coming out of your wonderful imaginations. So, in order to do that, brave writers always, always, always check their work. Now, a long time ago, Mrs. Torres and I talked about this, and we had a giant pencil. It wasn't a regular pencil that we used to show you. We used a giant pencil. Do you remember? Do you remember what we did with that pencil? Yeah, we flip and check, right? We flip that pencil over and we use the eraser to check to make sure we have all the words that we want in our writing. Now we're going to start doing that again because guess what happened? When we started to do list poems for poetry, you all got so used to making those lists and you were these great poets putting these list poems together. But now the type of writing that we're doing, we need to go back to sentences. We need to go back the way that we speak. So when you're reading your work, it sounds the way that you speak, right? We don't talk in list like this. And when you're making those lists and those one words or two words, that's not a sentence, that's making a list. So it's so hard to go back to our sentence writing after we've done poetry. But as writers, you need to be brave enough to do that. So we're going to practice that a little bit today. So some of the writing that we're getting back from you has great ideas, lots of wonderful schema on wonderful things. And there's all of these great ideas, but you're not getting your full thoughts down on paper. So I need to remind you as writers, after you write, you need to flip that pencil over and check your work, right? Read those words again and make sure you have all those thoughts down on your paper. For example, this is something close to what I've seen from some of our writers. Okay, and there's my little clue. Flip your pencil. Make sure you do that so that the eraser is down and you're checking your sentences. You're going back to reread. Now, I might see a sentence like this. The desert hot. This writer, I know exactly what they're talking about. They have great schema on the desert and they're telling me that it's hot, which I agree with. I think that deserts, we mostly know them for being very hot, but it's missing a key word. And I know that this writer was thinking to themselves, the desert is hot. So they wrote it down quickly. They got their thoughts out on the paper. But when they go back to reread the desert hot, they are learning that the desert is hot. They're missing that key word that goes in the center. So I'm going to rewrite this sentence with that key word in there that we need. The desert is hot. The desert is hot. That sounds like what I wanted to say, right? Now I have that word is in there. I have a complete sentence that makes sense when the reader reads it back. So the writer has done a great job making sure that they have all of their thoughts in that sentence. Let's go back, flip our pencil over, and check to make sure that this sentence is a complete sentence and it has all of our ideas in it. awesome animals. Writers, I bet there are awesome animals in the desert. That's probably a fact. But this is more like a list, right? Awesome animals would be something that I would put on a list. But I want a complete sentence. So I might change this awesome animals to there are awesome animals in the desert. There are awesome animals in the desert. Taking my time, writing one word at a time, making sure that there's spaces between my words, and then going back to recheck. There are awesome animals in the desert. That sounds more like what this author wanted to say. And finally, the sentence says, a cheetah fastest won. What do you think the author was trying to tell us with this sentence? A cheetah fastest won. A cheetah is the fastest animal? Or a cheetah is the fastest one out of all of the awesome animals? I think it's missing a word. Let's go back and reread and see. A cheetah is the fastest one. It's missing 2 words. We need to put those back in. A cheetah is the fastest one, period. Yes. So writers, make sure, I wrote a cheetah is the fastest one. Make sure that those brilliant thoughts that you have in your brain are making it onto your paper. Flip that pencil over, reread and check to make sure your ideas are making it onto your paper. Okay, when you read a sentence, if it says something and you notice that something's missing, fix it. That's okay. You can always squeeze it in. You don't have to rewrite the whole thing. There doesn't have to be any erasing. You could always, if you have an extra word in there or an extra letter in there, just put a line through it. You don't have to redo the whole thing, okay? We just want you to make sure that you're going back and checking to make sure that what you wrote sounds exactly like what you wanted to say. If you were going to read it to me, make sure those words say exactly what you want them to say. Does that make sense? So make sure, readers, today that you are flipping that pencil and checking those thoughts. And remember, these are sentences now. We're big, brave writers going back into sentence land. We're not writing poems anymore. You're masters at poems. We're beyond those list poems. And now we're back to writing sentences, which you're amazing at. So keep it up. Make sure you reread. Do your very, very best. No worries. We're here to help. Have fun. Have a great weekend. I can't wait to see your sentences on the wonderful things that you know so much about. So you can continue to work on the ones that you've been working on, something that you have a lot of schema about, or you can start a new one on something new that you have a ton of schema about. I'm sure you have a lot of knowledge about a lot of different topics. So you can continue to work on the one that you were working on, or if you think you're finished, you can start a new one. All right, writers, off you go.